we are excited to bring a very special presentation to you that is zeroed in on our mission tonight. Jennifer Shevlin has been an educator at Cathedral for 14 years. Hundreds of students have benefited from Jennifer's care, her compassion, and you need patience to be a high school teacher. She has plenty of that. In addition to teaching English, Jennifer is a member of our morning prayer team. She does an excellent job every time. This year is extra special to her because her daughter, Claire, is a member of the freshman class and a member of my core team. So please join me in welcome our presenter, Miss Jennifer Shevlin.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's a little nerve-wracking to be in front of so many amazing human beings tonight, so I thank you for your time. As Dr. Bridges said, my name is Jennifer Shevlin, and I have been given this opportunity to speak to you a little bit about my role in Cathedral's legacy. As an English teacher of 14 years on this campus, I have had a front row seat to some of the most beautiful, difficult, and impactful moments, not only on this hill, but in my life. I have also been privileged to take part in the formation of our school and our students through various means over the years. And so it is no small honor, ladies and gentlemen, for me to have been asked to share some of my experience with the people in this room who have made it possible. Teaching is a difficult career. It's also rewarding. But being an Irish educator, whether you do so from the sidelines of a field or in an office, sitting behind a door where you don't even see students every moment of every day, or if you see students in every moment of every day, it can be amazing. And it's not always easy to reduce that down to pros and cons and anecdotes, because Cathedral experience is truly formative every day we drive up that hill. But we can also get caught in the hectic schedules, the million different decisions we have to make every day, the professional demands, the academic rigor. We don't want to miss the important gradual changes and the way the Cathedral shapes us. Even after a decade of experience here, it wasn't until I was one of the lucky people who was awarded that Brunette Educator Investment Award last year, and I got to spend a week on a pilgrimage in France. And that experience finally put together the puzzle pieces of a much broader experience that I've had here at Cathedral and couldn't verbalize until then. One of the greatest gifts that I've ever experienced in my life, and I do have 2 children, so that's saying something. I got to experience something that changed the way that I see my role as a part of the Cathedral community. Okay, perhaps this will make a little bit more sense because I am an English teacher and I love metaphors. Perhaps it'll make a little bit more sense if I begin with this. You are looking at a section of the sanctuary and the windows of Sainte-Chapelle Chapel in Paris, the location of my first of many spiritual epiphanies that I had during our pilgrimage. In our travels, we saw many churches and cathedrals and a multitude of examples of the skill, artistry, and dedication to God that these images and colors represent. Our group was taught how to read these stained glass windows panel by panel. We saw the symbolism, the talent, the devotion to God, and the tedious process that it took to create. But while that information was interesting, and it was really kind of enjoyable to learn, its deeper meaning didn't quite hit me until I walked into that small chapel that you see in that picture. it was glorious. That picture is taken on a cloudy day, and every inch of the chapel is lined with those windows. Now, ironically, from the outside of that medieval chapel, you would never have guessed at that inner beauty. It's surrounded by the former Palace of Justice and prisons. You gaze at darkened limestone exterior and flying buttresses with gargoyles. You have no idea of its beauty until you're inside. Now, when I stepped from the tiny stone stairwell of this medieval room, I saw all at once before me not just a sacred site built to house the crown of thorns, but a striking metaphor for each and every person who, over the past 106 years, have worked to build the mosaic of Cathedral High School. Every school day, for the past 14 years, I have placed a tiny piece of my time, talent, treasure, and faith into the framework of our cathedral community, just as so many of you in this room have done. My fellow educators join me every single day, bringing further glory to our shared vocation. All of us have been colored and tempered differently by our experiences, our identity, our passions. But ultimately, we are united in the mission that we believe in, the formation of our students through the love of God. And every day, for over 100 years, our students stream through our doors like light that illuminates the reason we are here in the first place. Now, some students shine bright with that hope of Christ from the moment they hit our doors. I can't help but think of one young man who did not know he was in this speech until about 2 hours ago. His name is Caleb. And Caleb walked into my freshman English class last year as a beacon of hope from day one. His peaceful compassion for other people, his love of God, it reminded me of just how much our students teach and form us. Caleb starts each morning of his freshman year and now smiling and desiring to take the next step the cathedral can offer him. Regardless of the circumstances of his day, he always has a few seconds to connect with his peers, faculty, and staff. And as a junior, he still takes that time every day in the hallways. He just came and visited my classroom about 3 days ago, and that wasn't planned. And as a junior, he still reminds me every single day of the way that God illuminates this place. He's a source of positive joy, and that's coming from somebody who tends to be pretty optimistic and joy-filled herself. But not every student comes to us like that. Other students come to Cathedral, their light shadowed by uncertainty and the doubt and the things that this world can do to our hearts. Some experience unimaginable tragedies before they've even had a chance to consider their next step in life. Another young man that I had the privilege to teach as a senior last year first came into my classroom as a freshman. But that first day of school, he had just lost his mother to a horrific tragedy that occurred in front of him 2 weeks prior. I can't imagine something like that. But I watched as this young man, barely treading water every day, remained here, determined to find some sense of community and stability in a world that had been gutted by darkness. And this Irish community formed that stability for him. It created a community for him where no other could be found. Every day, the educators at this school The community, the parents, the students, the faculty, the staff, the ministers gathered around this young man and encouraged him and walked beside him while he took each painful step forward. And when he crossed that graduation stage last year, it once again reminded me to be thankful for the place where I got to walk beside him and watch transformation on its feet. There are countless more stories. The educators we are honoring tonight can share countless more stories. Names of students and adults who changed the composition of this place, and in turn, give us a chance to change and be changed by them. All of them come here to give meaning to why we are here and what we will still build together. They connect us like lead lines between departments and buildings, between academics and athletics, between the points of history and discovery and faith. I get to be a piece in the mosaic of Cathedral High School. We are each a part of that legacy. What more proof of God's providence do we need than to have a chance to take part in something this beautiful and this enduring?